The book is certainly one of the greatest human inventions. It's a friend and a teacher. We learn many things by reading books. Books teach people to live. From 9A, we want to share the books we have read. So let's get started.
Hello everyone, my name is Sabrina and I am from 9th A class of the National Physics and Math School. I spent my autumn holidays very productively. I've read some books and stories, and one of them is The Adventure of the Speckled Band, written by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. The Adventure of the Speckled Band is the 8th Sherlock Holmes short story, and the 10th Holmes story overall, by British author Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. It was originally published in 1892. The main idea of this story, like most detective stories, is that any crime is punishable. Greed doesn't lead to good. Justice and goodness must triumph over evil and injustice. Now I'm going to tell you about the beginning of this story in short. Once in the morning, Sherlock and Watson find their client in the Holmes waiting room. She tells them that her name is Helen Stoner and that she lives with her stepfather, Dr. Grimsby Roylott, the last survivor of the noble Roylott family of Stoke Moran. She explains that her mother met Roylott in India when she and her sister Julia were only 2, but on their way back to England, her mother was killed in a railway accident. Despite this, they came to live in Stoke Moran. Holmes also learns that £250 of the family money would go to each daughter once they married. Not too long later, Julia became engaged, after which she was killed in her own room. The dying woman's last words were, "The band, the speckled band." I recommend you to read this breathtaking story and know what will happen in the end. Well, there are some new words I've learned while reading and their definitions. Bewilderment, a feeling of being confused. Acquaintance, knowledge or experience of a person or subject. Entirely, completely. Occur, to happen, take place. Ajar, slightly open. And what about you? What books are you reading? What genres of books do you like most? Has a book ever changed your life? What's the last book you read? And what book will you read next?
Everyone, my name is Edlek. I study in National Physics Mathematics School. I'm from grade 9A. I spent my autumn holiday very productively. I read some stories, texts, and books. In English, I read a story, Last Leaf by O. Henry. This story about 2 young girls, Sue and Genesee. In November, Genesee falls ill with pneumonia. The doctor says that she has a 1 in 10 chance. But Genesee has just lost interest in life. He lies bed, looks out the window, and counts how many leaves are felled on the old tree. Genesee is convinced that when the last leaf falls, she will die. She talks about her friend's dark thought to the old artist Berman, who lives below. He has been planning to create a masterpiece for a long time, but so far he hasn't succeeded. The next morning, it turns out that there is only one leaf left on the tree. What do you think will happen next? If it become interesting, I advise you to read. This story is simple and at the same time interesting and useful. This story will help you understand how one simple move you can save a person's life and how important kindness. Words that were new to me. I searched the internet for synonym and translation of this word, and then I understand. Menacingly. We use this word in a way that suggests a person of danger. Enable. We use this word when we give someone or something the authority or means to do something. First, we use this word when having or displaying an intense or ferocious aggressiveness. Intimate synonym of this word: close, familiar, imply. What about you? How did you spend your autumn holiday? What books are you reading?
Hello everyone, my name is Ayhanam and I'm from grade 9A. On these holidays, I read book In the Shadow of Mountain by Helen Naylor. This book was written in genre of human interest, but I do want to say that there is some elements of detective genre. Tragic love story is uncovered as journalist Claire Crew goes to Switzerland to bring her relative's body. Claire's grandfather has been found frozen in glacier 74 years after a climbing accident. Claire knows that it could make an interesting story to her newspaper, but as she investigates her grandfather's last climb, she learns that the accident wasn't as simple as she expected. This story teaches us to respect our parents, adults, and also to be ready for everything because this is life and we don't know what awaits us tomorrow. Share with us what kind of books you have read on this.
Today I want to talk about my favorite books. Yes, books, because I want to talk about my favorite books collection. So, the books collection is called The Land of Fairy Tales. It's my favorite books collection because I like fiction and other legends. The author is this collection, Chris Colfer. Chris Colfer, young author, and but he has a lot of awards, and he is very good author. There are 6 books in these collections, and I think all books is very interesting. Why I think? Because now I read only 4 parts, and all 4 parts is was very interesting. What about book says? Yes. The main characters is Alice and Connor. Alice and Connor are grandchildren for a fairy godmother, and in this story says about our world, our land, and fairy tales land. I like to read about Alice and Connor's adventures and other challenges. So, if you want to read fiction books, it is ideal books for you.